Hello, welcome to the show Creations in Clay, and my name is Louis Palladini. I just want to welcome you into my workshop. Today I'm working on a sculpture here of two velociraptors. This is a very famous dinosaur that was in the Jurassic Park movie years ago. And I just want to kind of turn it around very slowly so you can see the detail on it. It's a very cool sculpture. I use railroad scenery and a number of different things with rocks and things. And they're kind of like in their hunting mode right now. So I'm just kind of, there's a lot of detail on this piece. You can see that they got the three hands, they got the claws. It's really neat. I just wanted to kind of show you this. As you can see, over the past several weeks, I've been showing you a lot of dinosaurs. I'm a very big dinosaur fan. So, there is another sculpture that I would like to show you after this, and this is of a mountain lion, or they call it cougar, puma. There's a lot of different names that it goes under. Then down in Florida, they call them Florida panther, and it's a cougar. And there's a lot of detail on this. As you can see, like I've shown you in the past when we do the paws, you can see the detail in the paws. When we take the toothpick and we create that effect, we go like that, you can see the feet, and you can see there's a lot of detail here. I did use an airbrush on this to create the nice effect, and that's what it looks like from the side. That's what it looks like from the top. And a mountain lion is one of my favorite of the big cats. It's a very beautiful animal. They used to be native to this area a couple of hundred years ago, but over time, when developments and things, they kind of pushed them out of the area. So, but that was the mountain lion that I wanted to show you. There is another sculpture that I had done years ago, and this one here I used something called the lost wax method. And what you do with the lost wax method is you make a sculpture out of wax, and then what you do is they pour a mold around it, and then from there what they do is they melt out the wax from inside the mold, and then they pour the silver in, and then they let that harden, because it's like liquid silver, and then once it hardens, then you got a beautiful sculpture. There was another gentleman that kind of cleaned up the piece for me, so it looked really nice. But this is a tiger, and I just want to show there are different mediums that you can use in sculpture. I mean, there's a lot of sculptures made out of bronze. There's sculptures made out of clay. There's sculptures that are made out of wood. There's a lot of different mediums that you can use. But today what I'd like to show you is a favorite of everyone. It's a snake, and I will show you how to make this from start to finish. And this one here is going to be a python. And what's cool about this one is I'll kind of show you. You can see that there. I have the little tongue flickering out of his mouth. And I will show you how to make that little forked tongue. And we're going to do two snakes tonight. So I will also show you the other snake that we'll be doing. It's called a cobra. And what's unique about a cobra now is when they feel threatened and they raise their head and their neck, it flattens out. And it kind of like creates, makes them look a little bigger, a little more threatening when they do that. So it's a very cool snake that we're going to be making tonight, and I just wanted to show you the two different versions. There are several types of clay that we can use. We have this oil-based modeling clay, and it never hardens, and it's a very good clay to use. I've mentioned in the past I used to use this all the time when I was a kid, and I'd make stuff, play with it for a while, then I'd just make new stuff and just kind of roll it up into a ball again. Another type of clay that we can use is a clay that's an air hardening clay, and this hardens like in a couple of hours or overnight, and then you can paint it. and it's a great clay to use. And it all depends what your preference is. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey. You can fire it in the oven at 275 degrees and for about 15-20 minutes, and then it becomes hard. Then you can paint it, you can sand it, there's all kinds of things you can do with it. But there's a tremendous amount of detail that can be made with this type of clay. The balls of clay that we're using tonight, I'll show you. We're basically going to be using one big ball of clay for each snake. This is the size ball that we'll be using. And the other one is similar in size, and we'll be using that for the Cobra. So the first snake that we will make is we're going to make a python. And we're going to use a very simple method to make the python. I had shown this when I had done the shark head, a very simple method to make the snake. Anybody can do it. So we're going to take and roll this ball of clay on the table to lengthen them out. And you just kind of roll it like this. It's really cool. You can, this way you can lengthen it out. And once we get it to the length we want, then I will start to just kind of work on it with our hands. But you can see how this is so much easier to do doing it like this. You know, it's a very cool and easy method to make the snake. That way you can make them nice and round. So what we'll do is now I like to just kind of look at it, maybe take my fingers and just kind of pinch it a little on the end, so you kind of bring the tail to a nice little point like that. And I'm just going to maybe take the clay and just kind of work it a little bit like this, so we can kind of lengthen them out a little bit. I'll show you. We'll just kind of lengthen them, just kind of pinch the clay to make it a little bit longer. And then we'll make, I'll pick it up so you can see what I'm doing. This is what it will look like. And then that's what it'll kind of look like from the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to thin this out a little bit up here, and this is what's going to become the head. So what I'm going to do is I want you to pinch the clay to kind of make the neck a little narrower in here. So I'll show you an example. I will take the snake that I had made, this one here, and I'll show you how it's a little, see how the shape here is a little thinner in here? It's a little wider in here. And the shape that we want to make is, this is the shape of the head that we want to make. We're also going to make the tongue. But this is what the snake head will look like from the side. And that's what it will look like from the top. And this is what it will look like from the front, because we're going to have the eyes, and then you have the two nostrils in the front. And then you can see that little forked tongue. That's a little cool feature that I'm going to show you. So that's the shape that we're trying to make on the head. I'll put this down now, and I'll show you how we're almost trying to make that like diamond-like shape that I just had shown you. So we kind of work that like that. And just kind of I just want to make sure I'm making the right shape. Okay. And now, as you can see, this is we almost have the shape that we want. That's what it looked like from the bottom. That's what it looked like from the side, the top, and then the front. So the next step that we would take in the process is we're going to make the eyes. So what I like to do is we're going to take the snake like this. We're going to take our toothpick, our trusty little toothpick, and then we're going to just take and put it on the side here, and we're just going to take and spin it. Put it in like this. You can see, and then you spin it. Now we're going to take and we're going to flip it to the other side. I'm going to move the snake, and I'm going to try to make it in approximately the same location. And we take, and you can see right there, we take and we spin it. So that way you can see. So you see that? We got the eye on the other side, And then what we're going to proceed to do is we're going to try to make the nostrils, and those are going to be in the front. There's going to be 2 little holes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to now proceed to make the nostrils in the front. So I'm going to take the toothpick, and we're going to put that right in front like this, and you spin it. And then we're going to look to make it on the other side, right next to it. And as you can see right now, we have the nostrils. I'll try to make them a little bigger because it looks like one is a little bigger than the other. We'll try to make it about the same size. So now you can see we got the eyes. And then now what we're going to do is proceed to make the mouth. We got to have a very happy snake here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make almost like a little happy face on him. Going to go up and go like that. So you can see. And then we're going to take and do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take and just go like this with the toothpick and kind of go like that. Now we're going to just want to make sure I made the holes in the right place for the nose. I'm going to look at it from the front. This is a good way. You just kind of, so you can see I've made the mouth. And then I did the mouth on the other side. So the next step that we will take is we're going to make the little forked little tongue. So what I'm going to do is I have some extra clay here. I'm going to take, and we're going to take this very little tiny ball of clay, probably about this size. And I'll show you in my hand. I'll put it in my hand here. You can see that little ball of clay there. Oops. It doesn't want to be cooperative tonight. But that little ball of clay that's right there near my ring, we're going to take that and we're going to make the tongue. And I will show you how to make it. So what we want to do is almost make it like think of like a fork with 2 little prongs in it. So I'm going to roll it like this. I'll show you what I'm doing. This is what it will look like, the shape that you want to make. Then I will show you, we'll make like a little fork. We'll go like this, I'll show you. It's really cool. This is a really neat little feature. So you want to make these little like fork-like structures on both sides like this. I'll show you. You kind of pinch it between your fingers like that. And so this is what it will look like. Think of a Y. It's just like a little Y that you made. And what you're going to do is then we're going to now attach this to the front of the snake and his mouth. So we're going to take this, go from like right near where his mouth is, go up from the bottom, and we're going to take and just work that in and kind of just take with your fingers and kind of work that in like that. And then what we can do too is take the toothpick for the front and kind of, you see right here, you want to take and kind of pinch that back so you get it all around. So what it will look like, the finished product, you can see you've got your little Y shaped. That's the bottom. I'll show you. This is what it will look like from the top. And then this is what it will look like from the sides. It's a really cool feature. So now I'll put the snake on the table, and what we want to do is, they like to slither. It almost looks like an S. So we're going to take, and we're going to make that snake and put him almost like in an S shape. So I will show you. I'll try to pick it up so you can kind of see it. But we kind of want to make this type of a shape. And then we'll put him on the table like that. I will proceed to put him over here. I'll put him on the table so we can get a good close-up shot of the snake the way it should look. And I'll show you the finished version that was going to be painted. See how I made that in almost like a squiggly shape? That's what you want to do with your snake. Or you can roll them up in a coil if you want to. What we will do is I will proceed to put him to the side. And we're going to make the Cobra now. The Cobra is a really cool snake. And they live like in Africa and India and those places. So we're going to roll this like this. And we're going to just take and roll. That way we can lengthen it out. It's It's really nice having the table here. You can do a lot of work with it like this. And we're going to just keep rolling that. And like that. And as you can see, I want to kind of show you. See how the shape is starting to lengthen out? When you keep rolling it back and forth, we'll just continue to do that for like another minute or two. Just keep rolling it like that. And then what I like to do is as it becomes narrower, I like to now kind of like pinch it with my fingers. So I'm going to take, and I almost want to kind of create like that, a pointy tail here. So this is what you'll be doing. See that little pointy shape? And that's what I'll just rotate it a little bit so you can see it. That's what you want to create. What we're going to do now is I'm going to just kind of work this like we did the other one. Try to make it a little longer. I'm going to pinch it a little bit between my fingers like this, because it will make it a little narrower. And then what we're going to do is proceed to now kind of work on the head, which is right here. And what I'm going to do is we're going to take, and I will show you the shape that we're going to try to make. We had the other Cobra here that I made. As you can see here, you want to make, this is the shape of the head that you want to create. And then you want to create that flat neck-like structure here. And that's what it will look like from the top. This is what it will look like from the different angles. This is the shape that we're shooting for. And you can see I got the squiggly line like the other one. Just think of it just like a squiggly line when you think about the snake. So we'll show you how to make the head and the neck. We will take and we will make that shape. What I want to do now is kind of have him go up. We're going to create this flat-like structure. So you take and pinch. You're going to create, it's a hood. So you take and go from both sides like this, and you pinch it. And you create the Cobra hood. And then what you do too is, once we've done that, we want to create the head. So we'll kind of make the shape that I had shown you there previously with the snake. We'll make this, and okay. So this is the shape that we want to create. As you can see now, we have the hood. We have the shape of the head. That's what it will look like from the top. And then I'll show you what it will look like from the side. This is what it will look like from the back. So now we will proceed to make the eyes. So we'll take our trusty toothpick again. We're going to take and put that on the side, then just roll it like this. And you can see I made the eye. We're going to go and do it on the other side now. We'll look, and I'll try to make it in approximately the same location. So I'm going to look at my snake. I'll look here, and we're going to make the eye right about here. I'll show you. And you see, just kind of rotate the toothpick like that. And now you have the eye. The next thing that we'll proceed to make is we want to make the nose. So you go from the front, take this, and you're going to just spin the toothpick. We've made one of the nostrils. And now we'll proceed to make the other nostril. And that's right about here. I want to make sure I'm doing it in the right spot. So now you can see I made the two little nostrils. We have a very happy snake here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a happy face on him. So I'm going to proceed to make the mouth with the toothpick like this. I'm going to take and go like this. And it will kind of create a little smiley face on him. And then we will proceed to do that on the other side. We will take and we'll create that happy face. We'll go down and then we'll go up. And then in the front, I'll just kind of take and make a squiggly line so I can connect them. Let me just see, I'll just show you how to do that. And let's see. And you can kind of see how I tried to connect them. Now, the next step in the process that we will want to take is we're going to make that little forked tongue again. So think of, we're going to make a Y. So I'll show the size of clay that we're going to use. It's going to be this little ball of clay here, very, very small, right there in the palm of my hand. And we will proceed to make that Y shape. So you take, and you want to roll this between your fingers to kind of create the tongue. That's how you would proceed. I just rolled it. So you kind of make it like in a cylinder shape, almost like a little cone. The next step you'll take is you want to create that Y shape. So you take, pinch it between your two fingers like this, and you create that Y structure. And I'll show you. You want to take and create a Y. So now, that's what it should look like when you're done. That's what it looked like from the side, the front. That's kind of like the bottom. So we proceed now to take this little Y that we made, and we're going to attach it to the bottom of the head of the snake, like this. We're going to take, and you're going to take that, and then you attach that like that, and you just kind of take your fingers and kind of pinch it in there like that. We also want to take the toothpick and go from the top, so we get it from all sides. I'll show you like that. You kind of just take and kind of work it like that. I'm going to go from the top here, and then we're also going to do the other side right here. So now your snake, I'll try to make them into like an S shape, or curve them a little bit. The shape that you're shooting for is make a squiggly line like this in this snake here. This is the one that I had painted. But if you can see how you get the nice curved shape, that's what you want to do the snake. I'll show you the one that I just made, and then you kind of squiggle it like that. This is what the Cobra will look like from the front. That's what it will look like from the side on the head. And that's what it looked like from the other side. But then on the top, now we can see that little tongue, the little forked tongue. It's a really cool feature. And then I'll show you from underneath. You can see that little forked tongue there. And that's basically what you need to do to make these snakes. I will show you what it looks like when it's fired. I'll proceed to get both versions. This is the python. This has been fired in the oven. And as you can see, nice squiggly shape. You can see the little forked tongue. And this is what it'll look like from the top. It's a really cool feature, that feature with the tongue. So if any kids have to do dioramas or things for school, you can create snakes like this. You can create your own. And you can create your own patterns and things. For the Cobra, I will show you what the Cobra will look like. This is what he will look like from the top when he's fired. You can see the nice forked little tongue right there. And then you can see from the front that nice little hood, what it looks like from the side, and then like from the bottom. We will proceed to paint. I think we'll do the Cobra first. What I will do is we are going to use acrylic paints, and I'll get those out right here. These are the acrylic paints that we use. There's 18 in this package. You can buy them in any art store. And, you know, they have all your basic colors, red, blues, greens, and so on. I figured tonight we would use brown for the Cobra. So I will proceed to take these out. And we're going to use the color brown. Then we're going to use the color black for the eyes. And then we're going to use pink for the tongue. And on our other snake, we're going to use, it's almost like an orangey color. It's a very light color, and that's what we will use on our python. I will proceed to show you how to paint the Cobra. There's several types of brushes that we want to use here. we're going to use a very wide brush to paint the Cobra. This is the type of brush you probably want to use, and I'll show you. So what we'll proceed to do is we're going to take this brown paint. I just want to move these out of the way. And let's see. We will take the brown paint here, and we're going to take and we're going to paint them. So what we will want to do is you're going to take and you're going to paint the entire Cobra. You're going to take little brush strokes like this, up and down, up and down, up and down like this. And then we will take and we'll try to do the top of the head too. I'll show you. Kind of do the top of the head. We're going to do the back of the head, the back of the neck, right here. Back and forth, back and forth. So we do back and forth like that. Now we proceed to do the entire snake like this back and forth movement. Just go back and forth like that. Back and forth. Back and forth. We will take, I'll show you, I'll paint a little more of it. Back and forth like that. And you'll proceed to paint the entire Cobra that color. I'll show you how to do a few of the other steps. I want to take this, clean that up a little bit. We want to take a smaller brush now. We're going to take this size brush here, and we're going to do the eyes. And I'll show you how to do the eyes with the black paint. That's the size brush that you want to use. You want to use something that's very narrow. So I will take, and I'll show you how to do the eyes. We'll take and just dab that like that. And then what we do is I'm going to take the brush, and I'm just going to kind of stick it in that little hole there. And then I'm also going to proceed to do the other side. I'm going to take and I'll put it, there's another little hole there for the eye. I put that in there like that. And then I'll proceed to do the nostrils, which are in the front here. I'm going to take and put the black paint in there. And then I'll proceed to do the other side. And then another thing I'd like to do too in this, I want to paint the mouth. So we're going to take and proceed to paint the mouth here. You can kind of see that little smiley face that he has. And we'll proceed to do the other side the same way. Just need to, we will take, and I'll show you we're going to do we're going to do this side too. And that's the eyes and the nose. We'll proceed to paint the tongue. I will keep this here because we're going to use that in the other snake. We will take another size brush here, this one here, and we're going to use this to paint the color pink on the tongue. We will take, we'll dab that a little bit. I'll show you. We're going to take and paint the little forked tongue. Just kind of go back and forth like that. Now we're going to flip him over and we'll do the other side and we'll paint the other side. So when you paint the tongue, this is what it will look like when it's painted. We'll try to move that so you can see it. See, that's what it looks like from the top. That's what it will look like from the bottom. And then you can kind of see that from the side. So when you can finish painting the Cobra, I'll show you what it will look like. This is what the Cobra will look like fully painted. You can see there, you can see the pink tongue right there. You can see the black eyes and the nose. See how the nostrils are black? I try to paint the mouth, that black color. It's probably not as apparent as on this as it is some of the others. You can see the black eyes and the nose there. And then you can see the nice curvy shape of the snake. And that's what the Cobra will look like completed. It's a really cool snake. The other snake that we will paint now is we're going to continue to paint the python. This is the python, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll take another one of these brushes here. This is another wide brush. It's not quite as wide as the other. And we will paint the python. We will take, and we'll use this orangey color here. And it's almost like an orangey flesh color. We'll take this, and now we're going to paint the python. So what you want to do is take and do these back and forth strokes. Back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, like that. And I'll show you, we'll take, and then on the side here, we're going to go back and forth like that. And you go all the way around the snake, doing that back and forth movement with the brush. And you just do that, back and forth, back and forth. And you paint the entire snake that way. The head, you don't want to paint the tongue, but just paint the head, that color also. And I'll show you the next step in the process is we're going to take and paint the eyes. So I'll take and dip the brush again. We'll come back, I'll pick up the snake, and we'll proceed to paint the eyes. So I'm going to take that little black hole, that little hole that's there, dip the brush in. And then what we do is we're going to proceed to do the nostrils that way. And then I'm going to do the other nostril. And then we're going to proceed to do the other eye on this side. And then I'm also going to paint the little smiley face. We're going to take and I'm going to do the little smiley face. You can see that little smiley face there, and then we'll proceed to do it on the other side. We will take, and I'll do it here. And you can see, and then if we want, we can just do a little bit in the front too. And the next step in the process is we're going to want to paint the tongue. So we'll get another brush. I'm going to use this size, and we'll do the tongue. Then what you want to do is I'll show you, we're going to do the back and forth, like this. Back and forth. And then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing. We want to paint all around, like that. And you got that little forked tongue there, like that. So that's what it will look like once you've finished painting the pink tongue and the eyes. I'll show you what the finished version will look like of the python, and we'll proceed to put this over here. Here's what the finished version of the python will look like. So you can see here, we got the nice pink tongue, the forked tongue, and then you got you can see it like the eyes and the nose are black, and you can see the nice squiggly shape for the snake. It's, you know, it's a nice shape, and I think that, you know, if it's a cool little project, you know, if it's a rainy Saturday afternoon or something, I think anybody that likes snakes would be a cool animal to make. I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay today, and I look forward to seeing you next week, and I will proceed to get back to my sculpture so I can add the finishing touches. Thank you. Hi kids, how would you like to win some professional modeling clay like the one that I used in the show? Please send pictures of your creations in clay and we will enter them into a drawing. You can send by mail or email, and I can't wait to see what you've been up to.